Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Did you know that 5.6 million hectares of forest area are being cleared each year in timber producing countries? And what is the significance of forest law to reduce the impact of illegal logging? I'm Muhammad Nurhani from University Malaysia Terengganu. The topic of my presentation is Promoting Sustainable Timber Harvesting through National Forestry Act 1984. Today's topic is of particular interest to those of you that work or doing research in the field of forestry. First, let me give you a brief overview or introduction about the topic. Forest law governs activities in forest area, which later define the basic principles, regulations, and measures related to sustainable forest management. In the context of Malaysia, the role of forest law is significant since statistics indicates that illegal timber production is estimated to be 35%, whereas 10% of illegal timber in international market originate from Malaysia. Forest law also play a critical role concerning the protection of environment, water resources, soil quality, and protection of flora and fauna. The primary forest law which governs forest area in Peninsular Malaysia is the National Forestry Act 1984, or Act 313, which is the law that I'll be mentioning a lot throughout the entire presentation. The provisions of Act 313 covers the prohibitions of various criminal activities related to illegal logging. According to the theory of criminology, crime is committed based on the cost-benefit analysis. Fine, imprisonment, and conviction are among the costs that influence the decision to commit crime. The provision of Act 313 can be categorized into logging stage and severity of punishment. In the case of logging stage, post-logging phase have the highest number of provisions, whereas provisions related to moderate punishment is the most frequent in the context of severity of punishment. In relation to forest law and sustainability, environmental law is the crucial aspect of the legal framework to achieve sustainability. Moving on to methodology, this study involves 240 respondents from related stakeholders. Data for this research were collected through close-ended questionnaire and interview. The statistical tools employed for this study are measure of central tendency, mean median mode, and measure of dispersion, standard deviation, and variance. The significance or strength of a particular item is determined by its mean score. The high mean score indicates that respondents agree with a particular item, while low mean score reflects respondents' disagreement. Meanwhile, the value of standard deviation determines whether the mean score is reliable to describe the dataset. Now, let me run through the result and discussion of this study. I have divided the results and discussion into three main parts. First, perceptions towards the general effectiveness of Act 313. As a whole, the provisions of Act 313 were effective to curb illegal logging and forest offences. Respondents agreed that heavy punishment was adequate to curb illegal logging. Next, moderate punishment was considered adequate as well, as reflected by the median score. However, respondents disagreed with the adequacy of light punishment. The results from the survey highlight that heavy and moderate punishment were considered as adequate to prevent recurrence of crime. Meanwhile, light punishment was considered as ineffective and does not have the required deterrent effect. Hence, the forest authorities and related agencies need to emphasize upon the appropriateness of the amount of fine and imprisonment term, as highlighted by the result of this study. Second, the role of supervisions and inspections in controlling illegal logging and forest offences. There are 4 items related with supervisory provisions in relation to Act 313. The outcome of the study indicates that respondents agreed with all of the items, which are 1. Strict supervision during log harvesting, 2. Strict supervision during the transport of forest produce, 3. Inspection of logging license and permits, and 4. Full payment of the royalty and other charges by the license holder. With reference to the mean score, supervision and monitoring during log harvesting was perceived as the most significant aspects to control illegal logging and forest offences. In this context, prevention of illegal activities in log harvesting phase is crucial to curb potential crime in the subsequent stage. Third, adequacy of provisions concerning inspections in logging area, in transit, and in manufacturing premises. The outcome of this study points out that respondents perceive the provisions on inspection of forest produce as the most adequate compared to provisions related to inspection of licensed area and wood-based industry. In this context, sustainable timber harvesting can be achieved through the inspection of forest produce in transit, which is categorized under the post-logging stage. Inspection of forest produce involves detailed examination of each piece of logs before they are granted for transportation. Hence, the inspection of forest produce in transit would ensure only legally harvested logs are transported to the wood-based industry. To sum up, Act 313 is generally effective to curb illegal logging. Next, heavy punishment was perceived as more effective compared to moderate and light punishment. As a whole, Act 313 may be considered as a substantial legislative framework that would foster and promote sustainable timber harvesting. Input from this study may assist the formulation of relevant policies and regulating frameworks towards achieving sustainable timber harvesting. With that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you.